It's loud. I know it's loud. I hope that, the sound works. I was not gonna make a video, but I'm in the coffee shop and the light is good here. The sound is awful. Well, it seems like Ashley Walter's Smashley nastiness is added. Like now that I'm thinking, it seems like she is the core of everything else. I found this video of Miss Avril Wood back in 2017, and I think it was interesting because she talks about she hasn't. It's 2017, so she hasn't named him yet, right? But the way she talks about domestic violence and is the way that she says, well, just tell each other. It's almost like she is telling women or girls to do gossip. And this is exactly what ended up happening. I think it's crazy. So I want to play that because it's only like 2 minutes. So weird that it's forcing everything that she's doing. She's been doing everything that she said she was going to do. The hell, man. Okay, so I realized that the people that wrote the articles for Esme Bianco and for Ashley Walters is the same person. And that might be a coincidence. Is in thecut.com. The Cut is those people that gave Esme Bianco the interview, the famous interview that she has on her Instagram bio, right? And there's the same people, not only the same people, but the same writer that gave Ashley Waters the interview. And I don't know if this person is like getting paid to just destroy Manson, or it's just a coincidence and it's just a journalist that is doing her job. What you think? It's weird. I'm alone here. It's okay. I can talk about this weird stuff. So I'm gonna read again the insanity of Ashley's claim. I know I read it before, but I found more. The Cut. Okay, so quote unquote, I was his property. Marilyn Manson's former assistant. This is so quote unquote, we know. I don't think he did any of this, but I'm just going to read it as the way it sounds like he already did it, because they're treating the guy like he already did all this. There's no trial. It's just like a trial by media or something. I don't know. It's a new thing, I guess, 2020, 2021. We're going to just do this to people and just trial them by media on Instagram, right? Remember about like a month ago when I started my channel and I said Instagram is not a police station. Instagram is not a courthouse. Go and file. Well, now there's at least three filings since I said that. And I'm not saying that I knew, but it's a way of like, well, now I still don't think he did it. I still think he's innocent. But it's a good thing there's a file. They're filing because he's just gonna eventually go at them with all power almighty, just like Johnny is doing. Okay, so I'm gonna read the Cut. Angelina something, the same person who wrote the Esme Bianco article. I know it might be a coincidence, it might not be. Same person. Okay, it goes. Ashley Waters, Marilyn Manson former assistant, is suing the singer. Oh, here they put the singer. And the one I read yesterday from the LA Times, they say the disgraced singer. Disgrace. Like, what are we name calling? It's crazy. There's no proof of it against this guy. There's no proof of anything. And you just go like disgrace. one step from wife beater. I will be like, what? Disgrace what? I mean, I hope that in the future everybody gets a lawsuit. All of them. Not only the women, but also all these people that are backing them up because this is disgusting. Gross. So, okay, her complaint filed on Tuesday, 2 days ago, on the Superior Court of LA County includes allegations that Manson was a terrifying boss who had violent outbursts and really bad person, made Walters work for 48 hours straight. We know the cocaine, all right, 48 hours straight, and told his friends they could kiss and grope her all they wanted. Yeah, okay. She thinks she's hot stuff or something. I don't know. I think all of this is like, this one is like the one of all of them that it didn't get to be the girlfriend or the ex fiance, because Rachel Wood was actually engaged to him. And this one, Ashley Waters, because she's kind of like ugly. I'm sorry, I'm being a bitch, but I am going to be. She didn't get to be with him, so she's like going into the he was a terrible boss type of thing, because she has to say something, right? But the thing is, like, she witnessed everything else. So if we're gonna go on what she's saying, she witnessed all her friends getting raped and getting beat up or whatever, and she waited until now, since 2011. She actually witnessed people getting hurt because she was the assistant right there when he was with Esme Bianco, and then they broke up, and then he was with Ashley Morgan, and this Ashley Walters person was the assistant. And that year, that means that she was there with these girls. Supposedly, these women were getting abused. So what that makes her is that she, if we pretend this is actually true, she's worse than him. She's worse because a woman that sits around and just watches all the women getting beat up for a payroll because you want to be in the paycheck, I think she's worse. She's probably the worst of the whole bunch. Nonsense. Anyway. So yeah, 37. She's 37 years old. So she was about 26 when all this happened. So she was not a girl. They stopped with the whole girl thing. All right. Walter, 37, is one of more than a dozen women who have claimed Manson was abusive towards them, including the actress. We know. Blah 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 blah. Walters and Manson met, May 2010. We know this. I already read yesterday. He reached out to her because he liked her photography. This is the part that I always said it's so hard for me to believe that he reached out to these people. I like your photography. When I come work for me, I like you want to come in my video, my music video. I like you as a, not even Esme before Game of Thrones. He was already reaching out to her. No, I don't buy it for a second. I think they reached out to him and they were like bees on a freaking, going around, and they got the guy because on Manson's always he has that problem, just like Johnny, that he's very trusting. He's a good guy. So this is what happens when you're very trusting and you're a good guy or a good person, period. People are going to use you, abuse you, and all that because this guy seems like he was so open to people. Oh, come work with me. Come stay with me in my house. Here's my food. Here's my cat. Here's my cocaine here. And that is his downfall, I think. I mean, it just sucks. It's really sad. I'm not saying he deserves it. He doesn't. But I think that's what's, that's why it's happening. Because a regular person that it doesn't do this is not going to have a bunch of new people that they don't even know in their house, grabbing their stuff, touching their records, their drugs, expensive stuff. But I think he's way too trusting. He's such a creative. Usually, a lot of people that do art are like that. They want to invite you over, so let's make some art. They're trying to be inviting. They're trying to be good, and in that sense of being good, you kind of lose sense of yourself, and then you end up getting all these witches in your apartment, which is like what happened to Manson. So she said that she first visited Manson on the West Hollywood home. We know about the liquor store and all that. All the dark paintings were in the corners. Dark paintings here and cocaine here, right? We know because that's what they're saying. So it's true, I guess. So she tried to leave. The first time she tried to leave around 2 a.m. after the assistant and bedmates got gone. Bedmates say that she could stay, that she should stay because the parking lot was closed until 7 a.m. So poor Ashley, she stayed and hang out with Manson for 5 more hours. Poor thing, Ashley. Anyway, I don't see I don't see that as being a lie or being something evil to say to somebody, hey, the parking lot is not open until 7. So that makes him like dirty or something because he said that. I mean, anyway. So he started bombarding with text messages. He drove her crazy. He stalked her. But he started saying how talented she was. So he kind of convinced her that he was going to give her a break as a photographer. Then again, these women use him over and over and over. And I don't believe, that if somebody just out of the blue comes, like somebody who works as a nurse, somebody not a non-actress, non-model, non-fetish model, non all that comes out and blames him for something, maybe I'll listen. But photographers, actresses, models, fetish model, bondage models, all that stuff is all connections. So it's hard for me to see you as a victim when you just doing so much to get connections, and then you change your mind because the guy didn't respond the way you wanted him to, or he started dating somebody else, or he never dated you to begin with. Because Ashley Morgan says that they were together for a year, and Ashley's ex fiance said, no, that's not true. And then Manson's team person that spoke out on the Ashley Morgan People's Magazine cover, he said that the extent of that relationship was a week. So, where is she getting all this? This one says she worked for him for a year. So, let's say we believe that. I believe that she was there for a year. I also believe that she sit around with all her friends were getting all that stuff. So, I think that's pretty evil, especially if she didn't leave because she was getting paid. Because she wasn't like a victim, let's say. She was working for him. She wasn't a girlfriend or an ex-fiance. She was working for him. That makes it more disgusting that she stay around for the money. That's like, I don't know. She's like trying to look good on this thing, and she's looking worse and worse every day. This came out on Tuesday. Today's Thursday, and everybody's been talking about it on YouTube, and she looks more awful as the days go by. Seriously, Ashley. Ashley Waters, Ashley Morgan, I don't care. We're going to call this one. I know. I don't like putting nicknames on people, but sometimes you just have to because they all have this basic, boring names, right? So, okay, Ashley Waters. She was expected to work for 48 hours. And then he started getting violent. Remember when Esme Bianco said that he was chasing her around with an axe? So it's very convenient that she's going to talk about him getting violent after not sleeping and the Nazi knife, right? All these things that they're in common with the other ones. It's all related. So very convenient. Sometimes the singer will stay up for days, often fueled by cocaine binges, and Walters was ever expected to work for 48 hours to 72 hours straight, according to the lawsuit. Again, not criminal, civil lawsuit. Civil lawsuit means money. Criminal, it's like, okay, well, there's a trial, and you don't care about money, you're not looking for money, you just want the person to be locked up because they killed somebody or whatever, or they hurt you really bad. This is a lawsuit, this is a civil lawsuit, and I don't think people know the difference, and that she's looking for cash. She also said that she wants to put him, she didn't say behind bars, but she said that she wants him to go to like a training, like a how not to be a rapist training, like how not to uh, beat up people training. I don't know if that even existed. I know about anger management. I don't know. I know about sexual addiction management. I don't know. I never heard about this anti-sexual assault training. But okay, they just want to humiliate the guy. They just want to put him down. And it's obvious. From the moment Walter started working for Mesa, she said there was nothing normal about the job. There was nothing normal if she stayed for 12 or 13 months at the job. The singer kept a nocturnal schedule, and blackout curtains were always drawn to his house with the black walls. Remember? The black walls, the black floor, black curtains. I wish I had black curtains. That would be awesome. Like, I don't know why is it so wrong about it. Um, the blah, 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 blah. And then when they asked her why did she dealt with that for this long, she said, quote unquote, Ashley said, "You just put your head down and you're in survival mode." I was looking at Ashley Waters' Instagram today because I'm not following her, but I look I look at it once in a while. So I passed, let's say a few months ago. So I went all the way to 2020, 2019. This girl traveled more than a freaking a, a bag of cocaine. She was all over the place. She was in Japan. She was in France. There's pictures of her in Paris and like next to the Eiffel Tower. There's pictures of her in Tokyo. She's saying that he left her completely without a job and without money, and it's all she's been doing is traveling. Pictures in swimming pools, and it's not just on. We would say, well, a vacation. Everybody goes on a vacation once in a while. All her pictures, not all of them, but a lot of the pictures are in really cool, fancy places. And it doesn't look like she's starving either. So when she said that he left her in a very bad place economically, I don't buy it for a second. No pun intended. I don't buy it for a second because all I see from her and from Esme and from Ashley Morgan is pictures of them traveling all over the world. And I don't know if it was on Manson's payroll or not, but she is not broke. She wasn't broke then, and she's not broke now, unless she's like photoshopping herself in all these locations or something, which I don't think so. So she would say she was in survival mode, right? Because she felt isolated. Okay, again, there's pictures of Ashley, this Ashley, with the other Ashleys, or with Esme, or by herself. Um, Smashing Pumpkins concert, Marilyn Manson concert, Alice Cooper concert, Ozzy Osbourne concert, all over the place. So I don't know what type of isolation these people are speaking of. Like you're isolated, you get to go to shows, and you get to go eat, and you get to go to bars. I don't know. Like when I think about isolation and people like in a cult type of thing, which it does happen and it's horrible, I'm thinking about isolation for real. Isolation is not you have your iPhone and your iPad and you're taking pictures for Instagram when you are at Alice Cooper's live show. That's not isolation, actually. It's weird that these people putting everything out there and they don't know that we're going to go online and find and debunk all this. Like even if they try to delete those pictures, they are out there. They're there. They're all over. They're all over YouTube. They're all over everywhere. Some of the most disturbing behaviors described as a lawsuit includes allegations that Manson commonly offered her to his friends. Okay, and a award show in September 2010, Manson pushed Waters onto the lap of some actor, they don't want to say the name, and bragged about how he could have her if he felt like it. I'm just gonna go out because I already read that yesterday. It made me feel like it was his property. She told the cut, yeah. It just made me feel like a piece of meat. A former member of Manson's inner circle who asked to remain anonymous, we know who, say the witnesses Manson told Waters to sit on men's lap, on different guys' lap, and say that he offered her more than a few times for like favors. Like, here's this girl, if you want to hang out with her, you can have her. This is what they say that he did. No. By December 2011, so it's exactly a year and 2 months, the complaint says the Manson had become paranoid. Okay. Go back to Esme Bianco's interview for the cut. She said the same thing. She said that he was paranoid, that he was chasing her around with an axe because he was paranoid. Remember? Okay. So Manson became paranoid, accusing Ashley of trying to sabotage his career. He started to try and smear her reputations by telling colleagues in the entertainment industry that she was bad at her job. Probably she was, though. According to the lawsuit, she probably was. See, that's the thing. If she's bad hurt because she got fired, and this is what she's doing all this, and she's using her friends, That's more disgusting than ever. I think she just, you know, find a really good opportunity to mess with him because all her friends are doing it. And I have a feeling that she's the one that is the core of the whole thing. Um, because she was working with him and probably living with him or sharing the apartment with him for long, like for a little bit of time. She knows more than the other ones because she was the assistant. So the things that she saw and she didn't report, that makes her guilty and a witness, and it makes her super, super, she's a woman and we're gonna get on this whole women support women thing, and you just sit there while your friends are being caught and all that. And that's because it didn't happen. That's why, because I don't think you can actually have the stomach to sit there, even if you're getting paid good, and just see your friends getting raped and getting caught. No, no. But I think that she got hurt and offended because he fired her because she maybe sucked at her job. Who knows? Maybe he was high maintenance. Maybe he wanted her to stay awake for a week. I don't know, man. It kind of comes with the territory if you work for one of these people. I don't see the big, thing. It's like almost like Amber complaining about Johnny drinking wine. What do you expect? Like, did you expect Johnny not to drink wine? It's very weird. So this is the thing. After a series of arguments that summer, Manson fired her. Afterward, he hacked into her Facebook. Manson is a hacker. You remember, like, he used to be like this mobster. Esme Bianco said that Manson was messing with her visa and her immigration status. So now he's a hacker. He knows. Manson knows how to do everything. Hack her Facebook account, her Twitter, accused her of stealing his art, and continued to make threats to her, according to the complaint. Eventually, Ashley says he started texting her again with updates about his life. She still didn't want to cut him off. Entirely. And she thought it was going to get better and to have him as a friend as opposed to an enemy. Oh, what a bitch. But and this is what I'm going to get to the virtual video about gossiping, because I found this completely is related big time. So she said that she rather him have him as a friend than as an enemy. So they kept texting back and forth, and he was giving her updates of his life. So she kept texting this guy after he did all that to her and her friends. This is what she wants us to believe. That's what I'm saying. She's a piece of work, seriously. But Ash's mentality changed when Everett Wood gave her own testimony in front of the Congress in 2018. Of course, because it was all, and it didn't change her mind. Her mind was already set. That's what I think I believe. And a lot of people believe that. As part of her advocacy to extend the statute of limitations, we know domestic violence offenses, although she hadn't heard the details before, Waters knew what Wood was talking about. She knew who she was talking about. Then in the fall of 2020, a group of Manson ex-girlfriends, including Wood and Esme Bianco, reached out to her, and they all began sharing stories. Wait, bear with me. They begin sharing stories. Okay, now I'm going to play this. Remember? They got together and they began to share stories, right? This is Evan talking about how important it is to share stories.
Together. This isn't a conservative or liberal issue.
Right.
This isn't about party.
This is in 2017,
Obviously,
okay?
It's on both sides.
So she hadn't named him yet.
It's a societal problem. I've heard numerous stories about Harvey Weinstein, and I'm pretty sure everyone I know has as well. And it was so normalized, and it was talked about in such a way that when you're warned about Harvey Weinstein, because most actresses are, this is just the truth, it's passed off as like, oh, that's just crazy Harvey, everybody knows, just be careful around that one. In this case, and in many cases, when women come forth with a story about sexual assault, or sexual
She's
harassment,
doing this with her hand.
people are very quick to try to
She's
discredit them or
a
knock them
politician.
down or look for any
Too.
sign of foul play or any reason not to
Her
believe
body
them.
language is ridiculous.
Speaking as a sexual assault survivor, that's not helping us. What we should be doing is asking the right questions, talking about rape culture, talking about abuses of power. People are wondering why more women didn't come forward sooner, and why in a lot of these cases, one woman will come out or multiple women will come out, and then the floodgates are open.
She just said it right there, right? The floodgates are going to open. This is in 2017. She's already saying it. And Ashley said on the Cut interview that she was not going to do anything until she saw how Evan was sharing her story and everybody was sharing stories, and that convinced her to share her story because she saw the other girls sharing stories. And that's exactly what is problematic about this. Right now, I can scream and I can say, that guy there is touching me. He's touching me. And I can start screaming, okay? Or that person, whoever. Even if he's not or she's not, somebody over there is going to be like, I saw it. Somebody over there is going to be like, for reals, I saw it too. This is what people do because they want to be part of something. So they attach to the drama. And maybe I'm lying, not been lying this whole time. And these people believe that they saw something. It's hysteria. It's massive hysteria. It's like a witch hunt all over again. But instead of against witches, it's against Manson and Johnny or any other guy out there. It's hysteria. It's not true just because a lot of people are saying the same thing. Otherwise, you have to believe that a terrorist that really believes in something and has a bunch of people believing the same thing is right because he really believes it. That makes him less of a criminal? No. So, remember when Ashley Morgan said, we found power in numbers? And Ashley Walters is saying the same thing. She decided to share when she saw all the people sharing. And Richard Wood here is saying that the gates are going to open.
If people are wondering why women don't come forward sooner or why they come out.
Sorry, I don't have this ready.
Numbers. It's because it's safer.
It's safer in numbers.
Do not feel safe enough to do so.
Safer in numbers.
And I'm guilty of this as well because I have not named my abusers.
Abusers.
Not because I don't plan on saying these people's names eventually, but because to start that process is an emotionally draining, financially.
That actually is true if you are a victim. It is draining. So she's right about that.
Draining. Really everything draining thing to do and to go through. And I want to do it when I have when I'm ready. Re-traumatizing yourself to go after the person that assaulted you takes quite a toll.
Oh, she's so slow.
It is a terrifying thing to have to go through. Women in the industry, women all over the world, tell people. Tell your colleagues, tell your friends, tell everybody their names. And then it's up to us to not work.
Tell people, tell everybody.
These people. If you know. That's where it starts. Spread that shit around. And this is to all my lovely men.
Spread that shit around. She said that. How lovely was that? Spread that shit around. That's her voice saying that. Spread that shit around. So no, don't go to the police. Evan Roger Wood is telling you to go tell your girlfriends about it. And go and tell your other actresses about it. And spread this shit around. She said that word, not me. I'm going to say it over and over. She said, spread this shit around. She didn't say go to the authorities, call a crisis line, go to a social worker, go to the hospital. She said, spread that shit around. And she said that in 2017. And we go back to what Ashley Morgan said on People's Magazine. She was like, we found such a strength in numbers, right? The more the better, the merrier, the more the merrier. Ashley Waters just say on this thing on Tuesdays that she was not going to say anything, but seeing Amber Richard Wood being so brave convinced her to share her story. It's about sharing, right? It's about spread the shit around. What type of advice is that, Evan Rosewood? What type of advice is that? Spread the shit around. That's what she said. I mean, it's awful. There's no resources there. There's not actually a real help about people getting hurt, men, women, kids. No, she's telling you to tell everybody. Just like a witch hunt back in the day. Tell everybody, spread the shit around. That's her advice, right? And this is in 2017, and I think this is where the whole thing started. This is like 4 years ago. I was started early in that. I don't know. I think probably started in 2016. And Ashley Walters is so stupid that she put in her filing that she decided to do this after she saw Evan doing it and got inspired by the girls, the women sharing their stories. Sharing is spreading the shit around, like Evan said right here.
Out there.
Spread the shit
Us
around.
To not
Look, let's do it again.
tell people they have to go through. Women in the industry, women all over the world, tell people. Tell people. Tell your colleagues, tell your friends, tell everybody their names. And then
No.
it's up to us to not work with these people. If you know, that's where it starts. Spread that shit around. And this is to all my lovely men out there.
That's exactly what she did. She said, that's where it starts. If you know, you spread that shit around. This is an adult talking. I mean, at that time, she was, what, like 32 or something? Who talks like that? You're sitting there, like you're like the face of, not Me Too, but Time Is Up, right? And in association with Me Too, everything. Rose McGowan doesn't say that. Rose McGowan doesn't go on YouTube and goes like, spread the shit around. That is just so gross for her to say that. There is no actual help. It's not actually trying to help. Let's say women. Let's not put people, men. There's no helping anybody by spreading this shit around. You know how dangerous that is? You spread that shit around. Or you go tell your family, so they go tell their abusers, so you end up with 2 black guys and dead. No, you don't do that. You go to the police. You don't tell your neighbors about it. So then they can retaliate against you or create this gossip. Yeah. So the answer is gossip, Evan Rachel Wood. It's gross. It's really disgusting. I mean, I don't want to get sick in here, but it I saw that video and I was like, she really is telling people to spread the stuff around and gossip. Not only that's irresponsible, but it's dangerous. If I was abused by somebody and I go tell my neighbor, I don't know if my neighbor is gonna go tell somebody and that's gonna go back to my abuser, I get killed. Like, what's up? What type of advice is that? Oh, go tell people. Spread it around. This is exactly what she did in February 1st on Instagram. And then it flooded like the gates of hell. Everybody start dropping, right? They spread the shit around. I mean, like, she's trying to be like, she's trying to be all serious and that thing. Not even like just moving really like a politician. And then the moment she says spread that shit around, you stop believing anything she's gonna say after or before that. That is not a good advice for women, girls, guys. Not at all. That's disgusting. And that's exactly what Ashley Morgan, Ashley Waters, and S. Bianco did, following her advice. Spread the shit around. I'm not saying they're not guilty and Evan is the worst. They're all bad. All of them. But the reason this whole thing started as big gossip, just like Salem witches and the 1700s. So okay, she did file it. There's a file number in Pasadena courthouse. Oh, that's crazy. I used to go to Pasadena courthouse. I did. Anyway, so 1, 2, 3 is the same thing. All of this nonsense. There's this part that is kind of curious about. Sorry. Okay. There's one little thing about how she saw Manson abusing other people, right? And people in Europe because they were traveling all over the country. And there's this girl, you guys might know what I'm talking about, because she is pretty pissed. And it's a girl on YouTube. Her name is Greta, a beautiful red hair. She has a YouTube channel, and she's one of the Manson defenders, kind of like me, but she's like way cooler than me. She's one of the girls that actually spent some time with Manson, hanging out. I'm not gonna go into a sexual details on my business, but Ashley is using Greta on her filing. Ashley is not naming Greta by name. It's not saying, oh, Greta from Germany, but she's actually saying something so personal in the filing that only Greta will know that is her. And I'm not going to, well, you can go read it. It's something really personal that people do in bed that is really personal and that you only do it once. What do you think it is? So she's using Greta like little hang out with Manson for a weekend against him. And Greta is one of the people on YouTube that's been defending Manson. So I'm thinking, what about it actually watch Greta's channel and decide to put it in there, or it's just a big coincidence? But if you go look at Greta Aurora channel, she is pissed. And she has all the rights to be. Because they're using her. And she never agreed to be on any type of fight. And she's been defending him from the get-go, and with a lot of good points, because she actually met the guy and she has a lot of good points. I love her channel. I watch her all the time. She's awesome and beautiful. And now she's like, what the hell? Like, look, I saw her Instagram this morning. She's like, what in the hell? Why they're talking about me? That is going too far. Like, one thing is talking about yourself, but then when you start putting all the girls in it, it's you doing exactly what your friend Rachel Wood told you to do. Spread that shit around, right? So that's sad. So now you know, if you are in any type of trouble, don't spread that shit around. That could be very dangerous. There was a case of a model that got killed about a year and a half ago by her ex-boyfriend uh, because instead of going and do what she's supposed to do, she spread the shit around. She told people about it. She told all the photographers about it. She told all the models about it. The information got to the guy, and he killed her. He actually dumped her out of her balcony because she spread the shit around. Because she was trying to she was trying to get her story out there in a private way, because I didn't know about her until she died. So I'm not gonna say I know her. I didn't. And instead of going to the police or going to a courthouse to get a temporary restraining order, she told people, and that got to the wrong person, and then got to the wrong person, and then it ended up getting to the guy that she was talking about, that she was scared of, and she got murdered. So even that's what happens when you spread the shit around. It's a super irresponsible advice. You don't do that. Anyway, go to watch Greta Aurora channel. She's amazing, and she's been amazing this whole time. She's been defending Manson from the get-go, but also now she has little leverage on this, because she's like, why are they putting me on it? Um, so Ashley is pretty much making all these girls sound like they're like all these poor little things, and Manson is this big wolf, and there's no like empowerment. There's no sense of responsibility. Nothing. This is stuff that happens around us women, and we have no idea. Like I said, oh, that guy is doing this, that guy's doing this to me, and somebody will believe it. That's pretty sad. So don't spread this shit around. Go to the police, please. When I get home, I'll try to get in here to fix this mess. But thank you if you're watching now, or thank you if you're watching later.